Hello everyone and welcome to your second royal reading today here at MadWorldTarot, a Sunday evening as I'm doing this readings. A rather grim topic today. We're looking at King Charles and his health and his connection with Harry. We looked at that in the previous reading, and then now we're looking at the connection or lack of connection with Archie and Lilibet. And this is a Radar Online story, and it's about Meghan allegedly warning the king that he will never see his grandchildren, and this is as a result of his failure to respond to the BBC interview. And I'm going to quote from a palace source allegedly talking to Radar Online that Meghan and Harry have done everything to get through this impregnable wall around his father since he became king. As far as Markle's concerned, this is Charles's decision to not see his grandchildren, and if that's the case, she's happy to keep them away. It goes on to tell us that the BBC interview was allegedly masterminded by Meghan to put pressure on King Charles to reconcile with Harry, to realise that Harry was desperate to reconnect with his father, and that she and Harry were devastated that the interview didn't have the desired effect. Basically, that as a result of Charles failing to reach out after the BBC interview, and as a result also of his health issues, I'm quoting from Radar Online, Archie and Lilibet will likely never see him in person again. But this is his choice as far as Harry and Meghan are concerned. Very nasty. Very, 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 in my opinion. Cute Ghost Tarot on the tarot table. Ghost Children we are reading on. We're going to have a look at this horrible story and the games that Meghan is playing. I want to know how King Charles feels about these games and whether he is devastated not to see his grandchildren. We're just going to ask that question. I want to know what games Meghan's playing, whether she's willing to bring her children to the UK to give them time with their grandfather, Harry, how Harry feels about the king's failure to respond allegedly to this interview. Now, this story contradicts the previous reading I've just done, where they seem to be communicating at some level. And then is Harry willing to let his children go to the UK to meet the king in the current circumstances, health circumstances, and all the rest of it? Will the king ever see Archie and Lilibet again? Has he ever seen them? That's also a question. We're not asking that one now. Consequences for Harry and Meghan if their children don't see the king. Consequences for them, not consequences for the king. So that's what we're looking at now. And we are going to remind you it's tarot and it's for fun and entertainment, and it's all my opinion and all speculation, and we just read energy here, of course, and disclaimer in the box below. We want to know what's going on with this rather threatening article in Radar Online, which does seem to have become a bit of a mouthpiece for Montecito, shall we say. That's in my opinion, of course. What is going on with this story? Ace of Cups, that is love. That's a declaration of love. That is pure unconditional love. Moving the microphone if you hear weird sounds, and that kind of unconditional love that you would feel for children or grandchildren is that kind of thing. Really very pure kind of love, love with no baggage, really. The Ace of Cups. So there it is. This is kind of an opportunity, really, that is being withheld to connect and start a kind of relationship with these children. He has no relationship with them. He doesn't, I think, know even what they look like any more than we do. And very hard, if you've had no contact, to feel any connection. However well-intended you are and however emotionally available you are, or mature, or any of those things. A very difficult situation. It's all packed into that Ace of Cups for me. That's the underlying energy. So let's have a look. Situation we're dealing. Ooh, yeah. I have given this title, reading, the working title of Cruella de Vil. Meghan warns Charles he will never see his grandkids. That's my working title. And there is the devil, Cruella de Vil kind of energy, that very calculating, malicious, dangerous energy. A cartoon character, Cruella de Vil, but this isn't cartoon devil in this reading. This is really very toxic. A very malevolent energy that's coming through that devil card in terms of the level of manipulation, of cruelty even in the devil. And I don't often use that word, cruelty, but it's coming through. It's coming through because of the working title that I've given this reading, and because the devil suddenly showed up. And that is the heart of the matter. We're dealing with, allegedly, someone who is cruel and calculating and manipulative and mean-spirited and toxic, or a situation, if not someone, then a situation that has degenerated into this kind of very toxic energy. And if you're out there and you've been in a family situation where access has been prevented, denied, whatever, that kind of situation, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about in this reading now. And my heart goes out to you if you are in that situation. We're going to have to say this is all allegedly and all my opinion and just tarot. You know the drill. And a huge big disclaimer in the box below. Let's look at the King and how the King feels about this situation, the BBC interview, this alleged machinations by particularly Meghan. What are his feelings about this situation right now? And I've got the Knight of Coins in reverse. Interesting, because that's a Harry card, Prince of Earth sign Prince. It's a Prince Harry card, and he's in reverse. He's been thrown off course. He's been turned into somebody who's unreliable, who's possibly over obsessed with money and status and merching and monetizing and all those things. And instead of doing his duty, instead of being reliable and a dutiful son, he's turned into something erratic, unpredictable, mercenary. That's also the devil energy, very materialistic. I'm almost getting in that devil energy that if you want to see them, you've got to pay up. And I don't for one second think that that has literally been articulated or demanded. It's simply energy that I'm picking up, and I just read energy here, and there is that kind of a vibe. When I've got the Knight of Coins in reverse and the devil, then I'm going to inevitably reach that kind of conclusion as a tarot reader. So let's see how anxious or desperate is King Charles to meet with his 2 grandchildren living in California. What are his feelings about that? Absolutely yes, the Chariot. That's a very dynamic forward motion, the Chariot. It's very purposeful, very intentional. This is a goal. When you're in Chariot energy, this is a desire, a burning ambition that you have to achieve something. He absolutely wants it to happen. If he could, in that energy, he would actually go there to see them, which is interesting because he's going to be in Canada pretty soon. And there's some rumors that he might just drift over the border into the United States. That is a travel card. That is being prepared, in my opinion, to actually travel to a place where he could meet them, possibly even a neutral place like Canada, where he could actually spend time with them, or get them to travel to the UK. And of course it's too dangerous for them to travel to the UK, but we're going to check that Harry's views and Meghan's views now. But that's very interesting. He absolutely wants to do it, and I, in my opinion, am feeling that he would move heaven and earth to make this happen. That's how I'm reading that card. Let's move on to Meghan and ask what game she's playing. Allegedly, according to the story, she and this Meredith Maines person, their new PR person, set up this BBC interview to pressure the king into reconciling. So what's she up to, just in general, with all of this? What's she going? Justice. Yeah, you see, it's revenge. It's old Tom Bauer book, or book 1 on the Parkholes. That's what she wants. She wants revenge. She wants what she believes is hers. And of course, what she believed was hers was prince and princess titles, or whatever the proper word is, for Archie and Lilibet. When Charles became king, she was the one who announced that they would henceforth be known as prince and princess. She wants what she believes is hers by divine right, and her children's also. So it's giving me almost the energy of an ultimatum, and possibly this BBC interview was meant to be read as a kind of ultimatum to the king. If you want to see your grandchildren ever, and we know how ill you are, allegedly, then this is what you have to do. That's how I'm reading this Justice card. It's very much the headline of this Radar Online article. That's the energy that's in it, just from my point of view and in my opinion. How willing is she actually, how eager is she actually for the king to meet her, shall we say her children, in air quotes, her children? Not really. No. This is not something she actually wants, in my opinion. Again, the moon. Fearful, distrustful energy, shady energy, that what you see is not what you get. So whatever messaging is going out is not really what is intended. It's very confusing energy. It's intentionally confusing, I would say, that there's all kinds of mysteries around this, all kinds of hidden agendas, all kinds of suspicion and doubt and distrust, and things that people don't know, and she doesn't want them to know. And there would be people out there saying, possibly watching this, saying she might be concerned about something like, and this is wild speculation, something like possibly a DNA test, or someone letting something slip, maybe the nanny or one of the children even, saying, oh, blah, blah, because they are of an age now where they are likely to open their mouths and say embarrassing things, or things no one wants them to say, or reveal things no one wants them to reveal. Very interesting card. Let's move on to the has-been. What's he up to? The game he's playing with the interview and the lack of response from the palace. How does he feel about all of that? Just generally, his vibe. You've got similar to the Justice card, but it's less intense. They're on the same page here, Harry and Meghan, and this is why the end of the marriage might be more further down the track than we might have thought at one stage, particularly about 8 or 9 months ago when he disappeared from Montecito for an extended period. This is I want my fair share. I want their fair share. Quid pro quo kind of an energy. Give me what's mine. And same as this Justice thing. He's as intent on this as she is, because of course, his children, I'm not going to use air quotes there, and his children should be prince and princess, and should be in the line of succession, and should be given chunks of money and trust funds and a free education at posh schools in the UK, possibly. Who knows what he wants, but he wants what he thinks is his, or what he believes is his, or what he has been coached by her Justice card to believe is hers. So very entitled pair of them there, very demanding, very grasping in that energy, very, very entitled. I can't tell you how that energy is reading for me. How willing is he to, or eager is he to have his children meet his father and make that relationship that's at the heart of this, at the base of this, all this Ace of Cups, make this relationship actually happen, instead of being focused on this devil energy, money, toxicity, blame, and all that stuff that the devil represents. How happy is he? 9 of Coins in reverse. It's this not being independent, not being free energy that the Nine of Coins in reverse represents. Not, there's strings attached to this. He's the one that's interestingly showing up, the money strings that I've subsumed in this reading up until now, but now it's showing up in the Nine of Coins in reverse upright. You're financially independent, you're good, you've earned your own money, you stand on your own 2 feet, you are living your best life. It's in reverse. He is not financially independent. He hasn't made his own way in the world. Neither of them has. And they are now in financial trouble. I personally believe, and this card is giving me that kind of information or that energy hit. And so I speculate that there would be some sort of financial strings attached to any meeting or any future relationship that these children might be allowed to develop with their grandfather, Charles. That's my opinion. That's how this is reading. 6 of Coins, big money card, and the 9 of Coins in reverse, a huge money card as well in Harry's energy. Meghan has got the major arcana with the Justice and the Moon. She feels more grieved about this at some level, but she's also got something to hide in her energy, I suspect. And Harry is the one who wants what he believes is his, half of the Duchy of Cornwall and all of that silliness. I'm being snarky, but of course this is just tarot for fun and entertainment. Will there be a meeting anytime soon between King Charles and his American grandchildren? No. That's a very clear no. Ace of Swords in reverse, literally in tarot, is traditionally read as a hard no. No. Too much going on. Too much distrust, too much in the way of demands and entitlement and manipulation and toxicity and all the rest of it. The only person who's really showing willing here is the king. That's my opinion. And I feel extremely emotional when I say that, and I'm reminded of the Ace of Cups sitting as our underlying energy. But that's a no. Too much toxicity, too many lies, too much deception, too much dishonesty going on there. Can't trust them, don't know what they're up to. This is me reading energy here, in my opinion. And also cutting off, denying, shedding, getting rid of energy in there. So absolutely not. Outcome for Harry and Meghan of not allowing this to happen, because I think it's all on them, even though this Radar Online article has told us it's all the king's fault from Harry and Meghan's perspective. It's his choice, as far as Harry and Meghan are concerned, not to see his grandchildren, and as a result Meghan is more than happy to keep them away from the UK. Outcome from Harry and Meghan if they do this. And we've got the Creator, it's the Magician card. They're going to spin this. And they're going to spin this in a very powerful way, as they already seemingly are doing, and this is my opinion, in this Radar Online article, that the blame all lies with the king for failing to reach out and reconcile and welcome them back into the royal family and make the effort, provide the security, the private jet, give them Windsor Castle and all the rest of it, red carpet all the way from whatever airport they would land at. It wouldn't be Heathrow. I don't know where the private jets land. A red carpet all the way from there, wherever it is in London or near London, to Windsor Castle, the gold carriage, which inevitably would turn into a pumpkin the minute Madame stuck those giant hooves into it. And we have hooves over there with the devil, of course. But they are going to spin this for all they are worth to make themselves look good and the king look bad. That is how I'm reading this. It is my personal energy reading. It is all my personal opinion. Disclaimer in the box below. Please read it. Please form your own opinions. Thank you very much for watching this reading, and I will see you again tomorrow.